stupid roof flew off altogether. And I thought I'll wait till this phone call comes through. It come through. And now it's raining like hell. And it's actually hailing. Let's see if... woo! Ham and eggers. You see the little dots there? That's all hail on the gutter. Oh. Yeah, it's all ice. All through the bloomin' leaves and crap. Get some more ice. Oh yeah. I must admit, that's the fastest I've ever seen that gutter going too. That'll, yeah, that'll fill it pretty quick. That annoys me when it goes that hard. It goes over the end of the gutter. That's almost going over the end there. It's a pain in the arse. I'm going to have to hope this subsides, and I mean it's only just a hope, and then go out and deal with that with a coat on, and oh hell, I think the coat might be in the car out there. Yeah, glad about the car anyway. I was really shitting myself there. That was going to be a whole nother vehicle situation, and I did have things planned, hopes of inheriting a vehicle planned, but it all doesn't matter now. So got to get up at 6:30. Well, actually, get up at some ridiculous hour to get into work at 6:30 a.m. I thought if people moved house, they wouldn't exactly be, you know, clearing the house out at 7 in the morning, but it seems as though that's what might happen. But then again, if you've got to move a house, you've got to get all your stuff in and then get there and then get all the stuff out. So I suppose it'd be one of those days where people would be firing early to achieve it all in one day. Anyway, it's filling quickly as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the little filter's blocked, because that doesn't quite match what it should be comparative to this thing, which is just getting ridiculously full and probably going to be overflowing in a minute. Like I said, you know, these are good for slow, steady rains, but hey, not really big rains. I had the stupid, what's his name, tip over before. Yeah, that thing that'll release all the air, bloody blew over in the wind. All this in the eastern side of the state, they've had the flooding, and I've seen reports that it's, you know, the crops have come along nicely, and then it's just flooded the shit out of them, and it's washed, you know, bits of them away, and it's, you know, they're just, yeah, it hasn't gone too good for the crops getting so much water in such a short time. And I thought at some stage of the game we might be getting a bit of a offshoot of that, and it seems this is the heaviest the rain's been so far this winter, so I think we might finally be getting our share, which is very long awaited. And the ridiculous thing is I've only got to fill about 3/4 an IBC, and the way this crap's going, that'll probably happen within the next couple of hours anyway. So there we go. I don't know what I'll do with this. I'll probably just blimmin' let her overflow if it comes to it. And as for this one, I'll just take off the little, what's his name, little funnel, and then maybe attach the other thing back to it, maybe not. The other bit of stormwater pipe I had on there. But anyways, we'll wait for a bit of a lull in all this if we're actually going to get one, and whack all that back on, and just cooking a bit of lunch for tomorrow. Alrighty. Well, that gave us 1/4 inch in about 10 minutes. An 1/8 inch in about 10 minutes rather, not 1/4 inch. Anyways, I have been walking around, and I went back to check my little spot. We're doing alright.
They really don't come up very nicely shaped, just trying to push through the clay. This, I have only seen photos of. That's right, a mushroom sitting on top of a mushroom. And you can't really see it, but that's basically the same breed of mushroom, probably from the same mycelium. Having said that, it's sort of packed with clay, so I'm probably just going to chuck it in the bin. That one, not this one. This one has only just started open, so it's actually... okay. Nice and clean. So anyway, and that one's probably been there a day longer, I'd say. And you are not going to mess with them, pussy. So I'm going to try and clean a bit of the clay off these and probably take off to the on-grid house and cook them up for real. Yeah, what I've realised is that when you cook a few lamb chops, it's always good to slice a bit of mushrooms up and have those in there as well. And yeah, that there might be a couple more iron ore nuggets, just a few, just a ton. Anyways, just thought I'd show you that because I haven't seen that sort of business outside of books. And just see if it's attached here. No, it's really only just resting on the top of it, but you can see there's a little root thingy there. So anyway, it's a bit more food for the pot. Just looking out under the solar panels where Tabby Cat usually sits, and either he fell in a tin of bleach or we got another cat here. Have a look. I haven't seen Tabby Cat last night. He often stays outside. He only comes in my room probably once, twice a week during nights. Sitting on the other side of my panels. Nah, bloody birds came over just before, must have scared him off. Pussy! Where are you, other pussy? Should have tried to get a bit of a view through the window. Damn. There's like a orange and white stripe thing. Sort of like a tabby with no black, just orange and white. Pussy! Where's the other pussy? Hey? It was alright when I was talking to it through that window there, but too close for comfort now, probably. Might have been the one that made that big meow the other night that got them all excited. Just coming in here for some shelter, I'd say. Got that thing on my car getting fixed today, so I've already got it in there. I put it in last night. I got the other car. Pulled out another big bloody monstrosity of a bolt thing. Some strange thing with two eyelets on either end. You pussies is funny, ain't you, hey? You drink out of any water other than your two deliberate water containers I've got. I don't think we're going to see the other pussy. Yeah, well, it's probably gone under the house. It's a common retreat for most of them. Oh yes, Teresa, I put the pots in there about a week ago. These are getting good. All the outer leaves sometimes get attacked by bugs, but these are getting pretty large. I think I've only got only got a week or two of harvesting. Some of these, I think the bugs are nipping the inners and they sort of go very wrinkly, but I think naturally they go wrinkly anyway. Because I could tell just by the edge of the leaves being curled that the bugs got in these ones, that one, just in the middle, like picking out all the green stuff, but this is sort of okay. And all the rest of them are fine too. It's another 2 weeks or so, and I reckon they're flipping hanging over the edge of the pots and everything, so a couple more weeks and I reckon we hitting harvest time for some of the older spinach. And yeah, broccoli cruising along well. I like it when I can get something from seed and bring it up to, you know, a decent plant like that, you know, continues on, and the time the stem's probably about like that thick, bang, we'll get ahead, and you sort of, you hit this point where you wait and 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 you think, is it ever going to give me a head? And then all of a sudden, just bang, in a week you got this massive head. It's, yeah, a lot of the Karen people ain't sort of knowledgeable on things like broccoli or anything like that. Thing is, over there it's always hot weather all the damn time, and I just don't see these English/European, broccoli's actually Italian originally, cold weather plants, because yeah, another country, another climate, another people. Yeah. Anyways, I better get to and make some coffee. I've been going through this stuff. It's probably a horse shit brand to begin with. Melitta German Premium. It's what is it, a kilo, half a kilo? Oh no, it's only 250 grams. It's nothing. That's only about half a pound. And yeah, $2.70. So it's not too bad. You can pay good coffee here. You'll pay $22 a kilo. So 4 times the size of that'll be $22. But yeah, sort of just the way it is with work. I've been brought on, but it's sort of like the business has a little bit more work than they can realistically do themselves. The other guys, you know, get full weeks and do quite a bit. And yeah, it all just depends on what jobs come in, and they've got enough sort of coming in not to have me full time, but to sort of give me, you know, might be 25 hours or more a week. So yeah, so that's sort of, I get these days off when there's not much happening. It's all just 100% dependent on the amount of calls that come in, and they've got this big whiteboard behind them and everybody's name, and they work out who's doing what, and then they make you up a little folder of all your, when you deliver furniture, you got the inventory of what you've got on board, the place you're going to, and then they've got another, they might have another one often enough that says you've got to move a house from this spot to this spot, sort of thing. And yeah, all the little paperwork for that they've got to sign, and their rate and blah blah blah. So you get your little folder and off you go. But very meticulous about keeping the truck clean, sweeping the back out. You got to wash the truck every week, all this sort of stuff, and it just ends up who's driving it on, you know, either a Saturday, either a Friday or a Saturday has to wash the truck, but you always got to keep everything all neatly folded in the back, all the padding and that. Keep it swept out, and if you scratch the side of it, you got to say something. Me and the other guy, I don't think he said anything, but there's this bloody roadwork sign, and the bastards had it actually up on a pole, stuck right out, and we drove past and we heard a bang. Actually heard 2 bangs, like as though we tapped it. And I was stuffed black and blue if I could find out where the marks are on there, but somehow he found out. I don't know if the sidekick told him or the bloody client, because we told the client, and I said to me sidekick, well, here's a lesson: don't tell the flaming client, and you won't. Nothing will happen. We had a little issue with the sidekick touch, and the tried to get the garage roller door up, and it had it stuffed up basically. And yeah, I don't know if it was a bit of comeback for what happened with the garage door or something. The client blabbed because we did mention to him, but I was buggered black and blue if I could see any marks at all. But one way or the other, boss found out. It's sort of the husband's, or the boyfriend rather, he's sort of very, everything's got to be neat and clean and done properly, and if anything happens you've got to tell me, and very sort of boom boom boom, you know, he's got his way of doing it, and you've got to be precise, and you've got to do everything spot on, absolutely spot on. And with the wife, who you usually end up dealing with, she's a lot more, you know, relaxed. You actually only really see a husband early morning, and if you end up starting at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock, like I have a couple of days there, you just won't even see him. But if you leave the truck as a mess, you'll have a little note waiting for you there. But yeah, every boss has got their way of doing it, and you know, it's, you know, I understand a lot of, like, washing the trucks, like, you know, oh, there's no point washing it, where it's presentability, you know. If you turn up, you know, haven't shaven or whatever for a week, or you got a blooming hole in your shirt or something like that, customer's heart sinks a little bit. And if they look at your truck and you got mud halfway up the bloody side of it, then it sinks even more, and you just look like a cowboy. And you know, I said to the sidekick, it's who's actually the wife's twin brother. I said to him, it's about presentability, and it may seem a little bit, you know, like he's just being fussy, but I said it's all about looking neat, and the customer will have confidence in you because you look presentable and professional. But if you turn up with mud all up the side of the truck, and a friggin' big tear in your shirt, and bags under your eyes, you look like you look like you're just some dickhead who fell out of the pub, as I've described that sort of a look previously. But you know, and it's all sort of about, it's the same with the building industry, I noticed. Like, we had these, when we built pergolas, it looks all nice and all that, and they've got these stupid little plastic covers that go over the top of bolts that you got to put through to hold the frickin', well, the post onto the beam, basically. It's either that or big screws or something, and you put these little plastic covers over, and that just hides the ugliness of it. And you know, it's all about that sort of neatness and whatnot. We had one of them fall off, those little plastic covers, and she said, they're going to affect the structural integrity of the building. I felt like going and snapping the little cover in front of her and saying, do you think that had any structure in it to begin with? Like, but it's all about looking nice, particularly with yuppie women. Everything's got to look perfect, and if you've got big bolts hanging out, it looks like a rough job. But if you've got this shitty little piece of plastic hiding those bolts, then it looks like it's clean and it's finished and it's well presented, and they love it. And all over just some stupid little cover to hide these damn bolts, you know. But yeah, it's the way it all goes, you know. It's all about the bloody sizzle, not what's in the damn sausage, you know. Because if you sort of get the right look, then they have the trust in you, regardless of if you can't even change gears in the frickin' truck, you know. Another thing I should mention, it's a bit overcast on us today. Expecting rain. nearby. I don't know if we're going to get any or not, but it's been sort of a strange-ish winter. Oh, here we go. Where you been, buddy, hey? Seen your bloody girlfriend, who the friggin' hell it was before. It's not raining much, which is sort of like last winter, but that's not the big point. You can almost see the point coming through there. Yeah, it's so damn bright it's not going to show it. It's sort of cleared more over this side. It has been uncharacteristically bright. At least towards the north, obviously, where the sun's coming from, because we're in the southern hemisphere. It is often cloudless, and you might have a few drifting clouds, you know, to your that way east, a few in the south, and the north will be almost clear, and the sun will be shining. And I'm not joking, every third day is a bright sunny day. By the time it hits probably 10 o'clock, and you get a good 5-6 hours of sun, at least 5 hours, on some of these winter days, which is just bizarre. Generally here in the winter it's always overcast all the damn time. I remember the time I was at the nursery, we're in a glass house, glass all around us. Should have had plenty of sun. We couldn't even read these damn tags with these decent sized letters on them that stuck in the plant trays because it was just too dark. So we had to turn night spotlights on to read the damn trays, and it was that overcast, you know. I have a lot of people tell me, oh, you know, you'd be right with solar all year round. Oh, I get more solar. Hey, this isn't Queensland. It's as simple as that, you know. Usually gets very overcast, but for some reason this year, 1 in every 3 days we get a reasonable amount of light shine down, and it sort of seems rather bright. Even yesterday, driving the truck, it was that bright there at one point that, you know, I was really questioning if I shouldn't put sunglasses on, because it was, you know, getting substantially bright. And as a result, this has allowed me to leave the inverter running, so I've still got mains power in the middle of winter. Literally in the middle of winter, which I have not been able to do in previous years. So that's a good one anyway. Just thought I'd mention that because it's sort of good to still be able to, you know, use the actual compact fluoro lights and turn on the normal light that I use most of the time during the rest of the year, purely because we've got enough light to, you know, keep the batteries running without a problem and have the standby power of the inverter, you know, covered and all that in the process, as opposed to just blooming one overcast day after the next after the next. I don't know if you can see it shining there, but this is 9 minutes past 8. Still dark there. And I'll put my finger over the mic and have a look out here. There you go. Now I'm aiming that directly at the sun, but it's so bright that I can't even look into it myself. And you get it reflecting off the aluminium a little bit. That is as bright as bright. I can't even look directly into that. And yeah, you can see the rays even down here. And that's what I'm talking about. So this will be another bright day. I can't reach to get that off, but anyway. Another nice bright day, and we'll get plenty of charge out of this day. Even though it's the middle of winter, and yet right behind us, it's as dark as hell.
And we've got bright shining light and everything exceedingly bright this side of the house. Intriguing the way it does that, but you can see all my shadows and everything. It's even a shadow of the chicken wire reflecting on the stuff here. I might actually give these panels a bit of a wipe down today because I've got to go and do some washing anyway, so I usually get an old towel, an old shirt or whatever and just wipe the dust off them. And I haven't charged the, what's his name, in quite a while. The battery that runs the shower system. So I'm going to charge the one that runs the shower. And just, you know, top that off. They don't like sitting around for very long without a charge. It's been sitting there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks since I charged it last. So anyway, I'll have a coffee and a bit of food and we'll get firing.